So, we've all heard the saying that you are a product of your environment, and it sounds cliche, but I think one of the most important things you can do if you want to change your life is change your environment, and actually means a lot more than what most people think. And I've written some notes here on kind of what environment means to me, and I believe changing my environment is one of the things that helped me make a quantum leap forward in life and in business. And it's one of the things I constantly try and improve on, and constantly try and improve my environment. And to me, environment is a few different things. First of all, it's what you consume. It's the content that you consume online, because we live in a world now which is just a hybrid of a physical realm and an online realm, and almost we live more online than we do offline these days, with the amount of times we spend on phone and computers communicating with people and consuming content. And so the content that you consume is very important, and we'll talk about that. It's also who you surround yourself with. Right now I'm at this beautiful villa with 5 of my best friends that are all high-level business owners. We're here for a week. I think this villa is about £12,500 for the week, and the combined revenue of all the guys here is over £100 million a year. The average age has got to be 26, 27, and I mean, it's just some of the conversations and things I've learned by surrounding myself with the people here is incredible. And although I've obviously paid money to be here, to be with my friends, it's the sort of thing that you'd pay money to come to anyway, just to hear and just to be with the friends that are with. And surrounding myself with incredible people has been one of the things that's, again, really helped me in business, but that hasn't become by accident. And leveling up your social circle is something I get asked about all the time, so I want to talk about that. Your environment is also where you live, and that plays such an important role in your life as well. And I'm going to talk about my decision to move to London, which is probably one of the most, well, it is the most expensive city and place to live in the whole of the UK, but it's also one of the most expensive places in the world. And so although there is huge cost, there is the upside of living there, is an outsized return in that sense. And then your environment is also your immediate surroundings. And what I mean by that is, when you're at home, it's how is your home optimized to improve your productivity, your output, your quality of life. So I want to talk about some of the things I do just off the top of my head at home or wherever I'm going to make sure my environment is allowing me to be the most productive I can be, the happiest I can be, the healthiest I can be. Because your environment impacts your decisions, and where you are in life is just a product of your decision making. And the number one way to improve your decision making is to improve your environment. And so the first thing I want to talk about is the content that you consume online. And we live in a world where, with Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of these tech companies, all of these social media platforms, they generate revenue from serving you ads. So the more attention you give to these platforms, the more these platforms can serve you ads, the more money they're going to make. So everything they're doing is strategically trying to tie you in and make everything more addictive. And I believe technology is net positive, and it's almost, in some instances, it is a necessary evil. But what you have to try and do is make sure you're consuming content online. Now, I'm so grateful we live in a day and age where I can literally go on YouTube now and I can listen to a podcast like the All In podcast, for example, which is something I'm a fan of, and I referred to it in one of my last videos. I can literally sit and listen to 4 or 5 billionaires share how they're viewing the markets right now, what they're learning right now, which is a privilege that a generation, even just 20-25 years ago, did not have. So that's one thing I'm so grateful for. And it's great that we've got so much opportunity for personal development, self-development online, but it's also to get sucked into a wormhole and just end up watching video after video after video. One of the best pieces of advice I got recently when it comes to consuming content is that you need to consume intently. You need to know, okay, what do I want to learn about? What are the things I need to learn about right now that's really going to help me move the needle in my business? Where are the biggest deficits in my knowledge that are really stopping me from getting to where I want to be? And list out 3, 4, 5 different things, so you can go, when you're online, you can just look at those different things. Otherwise, it's easy to see a YouTube video about this topic, about this topic, about this topic, think, oh, that's interesting, and jumping from one to another. But really, you just want to pick a few things and go deep into that. Another level beyond that is figure out, okay, these are the things I want to learn, but who are the people I want to learn them from? Because with every different topic. There's going to be so many different teachers online, and so it's important to find the teachers who you believe you want to learn from. They've got the success that you'd like to model, their values align with yours, and you consume their content. Because otherwise it's just so easy to get caught up consuming so many different things. With so many different audiobooks on your phone, you see someone else post a book and think, I'm going to buy that book, I'm going to buy that book. Before you know it, your potential reading list is huge. And so important to make sure you're consuming content intently, and you're using social media and you're using these platforms, not the other way around. The second thing is who you surround yourself with. And like I said earlier, probably the most common question I get is, how do you surround yourself with incredible people? And it's one of the things I'm most grateful for, my friendship circle, but it hasn't come by accident. And so when it comes to leveling up your social circle and just being in an environment of people that are on the same mission as you, that are pushing you, that are holding you accountable, it really, really does push you. I surround myself with people that care about their health and fitness. They work out every single day, they push themselves in the gym, they go for runs. They're fit, they're healthy, and they want to improve the area of their life, and the same with their diet, etc. They're also seeking wisdom, seeking happiness. They're sharing what they're learning about kind of just happiness and how can they improve themselves outside of business as well. And then also they've got a mission in terms of their business and constantly learning about that and sharing ideas. Amongst many things, there's so many values that align, and it's so important because what I try and do is every time I have a good idea in business that I've executed on and has made a significant impact, I try and reverse engineer where did that idea come from, because a lot of the time there isn't such thing as an original idea, it's just an adaptation of somebody else's idea or something you heard everywhere else. And a lot of times I've done that. A lot of the ideas have come from an adaptation of something I learned from a friend of mine just at the dinner table, who said it sort of casually with no intent to kind of teach me or give me any advice, but you just hear something, you pick it up, you forget about it, and then a week later you're in a position where it comes back to you and you think, oh yeah, that's going to help me in this instance, and you implement it. And so many things like that. And so how do you do that? I mean, I could talk about leveling up your social circle for a long time, and we're doing a separate video with the guys I'm with today on how to do that. But you have to remember that a relationship is transactional, and like anything in life, in economics, for a transaction to occur, there needs to be a fair exchange of value. A relationship is just a transaction of energy, so there needs to be a fair exchange of value. And so I'm great that I surround myself with friends and they give so much to me, but I also like to think I give so much back to them, because I'm in business, I'm learning new things about business, about life, about dating, about happiness. We're constantly sharing it. And also, by being friends, it also means we can do cool stuff like this. If I was to try and say to 5 other friends that maybe aren't that interested in business or entrepreneurs, hey, do you want to go book this amazing villa in Spain and do all these cool things? They won't be able to do that because they just don't have the resources. So there's many different things that mean there's a fair exchange, but the marketplace rewards value. In order for you to surround yourself with more valuable people, you need to become more valuable in what you can offer to other people. And the more you can offer to other people, of course, the market is then going to reward that. I don't mean the market as just the economic and money markets, but just the market of relationships, etc. And those people are going to want to come back into your life. So that's the second thing. So you have to earn it, essentially. And I'm saying all this as if I'm surrounded by great people I'm so grateful for, but at the same time, I know there are levels and levels and levels above me. If you look at the billionaires in the world, they're all friends with other billionaires, and it isn't a coincidence, because those billionaires can all provide a lot of value to each other by being friends. They can go do the same trips together, they can share best practices about business. But it doesn't have to always be about money. It's not, people that are a certain net worth hang out with people of a certain net worth. It's what value you can provide to them in terms of entertainment, in terms of other advice. I've got friends that are much older than me that aren't entrepreneurs, but the advice they can give me as people, as they're more experienced in relationships or life or whatnot, for me, that's very precious to me. And at the same time, I like to think I give a lot back to them by sort of helping them in their journey with things I can provide to them. So you have to earn it. The only way to do it is just keep leveling up yourself and constantly invest in self-development, personal improvement, and working on your own mission, and you'll just attract these people into your life. And the friends I'm with now, it all just came from it just came from me investing in my business. And you meet one person, they introduce you to another person, they introduce you to another person, and then you just click, and then before you know it, you're great friends. The second way is to pay for it. So you can earn it or you can pay for it. And what I mean by that is you can pay yourself to get in rooms with people. And when I first left school, when I was 18 years old, the first 2 years, from 18 to 20, I was pretty much spending almost any money I could on seminars and courses across a whole array of things. I've been on, I want to say, 4 or 5 different Tony Robbins events across the world, in London, one in Vegas, Business Mastery, countless things. And by doing that, you're paying yourself to get into a room with people that are way ahead of you, that are, Tony Robbins, for example, he's someone that has made a massive impact on my life. Decades and decades and decades ahead of me. He's coached some of the highest paid athletes in the world, some of the presidents, some of the most successful business owners and investors. And by paying to get into a room with him and spending 4 days where he's on stage teaching us, it's a way to essentially compress time. And by doing that, you also get to invite with other people that are going to be in that room, are also on the same mission as you, and you can start to make relationships like that, or joining masterminds, or going to networking events. And so I'm a big believer in personal development. I think one of the biggest things you can do to improve your life and get further is investing in yourself. It's where the biggest return on investment is going to be. When people say to me, I've got £1,000, how should I invest it? I say, in yourself. Because investing in skills and developing your skills is going to get you a far better return than investing £1,000 into the equities market, the cryptocurrency market, unless you're super lucky, of course, with crypto. But what's going to last you through any recession and any downturn or market is your skills, and what skills and knowledge do you have. So by paying to get into rooms with super successful people, you're going to be able to optimize your environment. Thirdly is where you live. Now, I made the decision to move to London a couple of years ago now, or almost a few years ago, and I live in an apartment which costs around £6,000 per month. There's then council tax, which is, I don't even know, there's a bit of money. The food is more expensive, travel is more expensive. There's congestion charge, which is like £15 a day, I think, if you want to take your car out on the road. Everything is so much more expensive. But the reason I made that decision is because I knew the people I wanted to surround myself were in London. It almost attracts a lot of people that I want to surround myself with on the same mission as me. And I'm not saying you should move to London, but you should certainly take a moment to think, okay, where do I live now, and is this serving me and serving my mission and serving my purpose? So moving to London allowed me to sort of get around people I wanted to be friends with, as I'm in property and I'm raising money. I've got investors there. There's a guy that lives in my apartment building who I was just speaking to, and he said, I've got all this money I want to invest, and I want to invest in property deals. Can I do some business with you? There's so many stories I can think of, so many things that's moved the needle in my business, improved my business and my life and my happiness, which has stemmed from putting myself in an environment which I knew was going to have sort of outsized returns. So if you can, move to a city or move somewhere where it's definitely going to be more conducive to happiness, and that's just a really important thing. But on top of that, on top of where you live, is also your immediate surroundings. And so what I mean by this is, well, for example, where I live as well, in my apartment block, one of the things I'm so grateful for is I've got a spa, which is just, I go out of my apartment, down the elevator, down to the basement floor or one of the lower floors, and I've got this beautiful steam room, spa, jacuzzi, a pool to swim laps in, and I can go there every morning. Every morning I can go down there, I can spend 20 minutes in the sauna, I can then go into the steam room and stretch out. I can do that in the morning before work, and one, there's just obviously huge health benefits to doing that. I feel more inspired, I feel more awake when I go to work now, because before I've been in the sauna, I've woken my body up, I've got my blood flowing through my body, I've done some breathing work, and so there is, what value do you put on your health? Being able to do that every morning, and it's much easier to do that when I know it's just an elevator ride down 30 seconds below my apartment, rather than having to get in the car on a cold January day in the middle of winter, drive 15 minutes to the gym, get changed. I can literally roll out of bed and be in the sauna within less than 5 minutes of waking up, which is pretty incredible. I've also got amazing views out of my apartment which inspire me and encourage me to kind of want to work harder. And I look out at the views and I can see loads of cranes in the distance and all the construction work that's going on, and it's a constant reminder to me of how much opportunity there is in the real estate world and how much money is being made. But in terms of your immediate surroundings is one of the biggest factors that impact your decision making. So for example, what do I mean by this? As well, if I think of my bedroom back home, first thing I do, I've got an aircon system, so I make sure the room temperature is pretty cold, around 18 to 20 degrees, which does sound pretty cold. I've got an Oura Ring which tracks my sleep, and I know that having a room temperature that low massively improves my sleep, and the better I sleep, the more productive I am the next day. I also don't have my phone in my room, because I know if I have my phone in my room and I go to bed with my phone, I'm going to be using it before I go to sleep, which means I'm probably going to end up staying a bit longer. My dopamine receptors are going to be firing and it's going to be a little bit more difficult to sleep. Then I also know when I wake up, what the first thing you do when you wake up, you reach for your phone, you play on it, and then it's one bad decision, and bad decisions compound. You start off the day with a bad decision of going on your phone, and then suddenly you're reacting to notifications, and you've not started the day off on a proactive start. So there's that. But I know if my phone isn't in my room and I leave it in my living room on airplane mode, I can wake up in a completely proactive state. I'm not reacting to anything, I'm not reacting to any messages, I'm not getting sucked into an algorithm. I can get up and I can start making impactful decisions that I know are going to drive me forward. The same when I'm at my desk, I don't have my phone next to me on my laptop. And there's so many different things like that. I don't buy bad foods. I know if I have bad food in the house, like crisps and chocolate and stuff that isn't conducive to my health goals, then I'm less likely to go to a cupboard and reach for it. And so it's important to optimize your immediate environment, and I will do another video on this showcasing kind of my home and everything I've done to set up my environment that makes me healthier, happier, more productive, and things like that. So what I'd encourage you to do is make sure you change your environment at home, and look at the things that are causing you to make the wrong decisions, and just eliminate them completely. So environment is everything, and do everything you can to change the people you surround yourself with, to improve where you live and your immediate environment, and then also the content you consume online, amongst many things.